Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you? Today's question is on accusation and merger. This is the question from December 2018, question number 1. And in question number 1, you have to pay a particular attention to the format of the answer. The reason is because 4 professional marks you'll be getting for writing in a report format. Okay. So I'm not going to read the exhibits and all. Okay. So make sure that you read and come. I'm just as I do my workings, you'll be able to understand. Okay. So the first exhibit is giving the background, the second is about the accusation, third is combined company, and fourth is about the possible prices, whether it's cash offer, mixed offer, share for share offer, and last one is future plans for the subsidiary company. Now if you have seen my video 1 where I have discussed some theory questions, I have discussed question 1 and 2, which is from this question only, question number 1. Okay, so in this I'm already going to do requirement C. Let us open the requirement. As you can see, I did requirement A and B. They are theory parts. You can see my video where I discussed CBE, how to write theory questions on CBE. And D I didn't do. It is about reverse takeover and IPO. You have to distinguish and tell which one is better. So in this video, I'm only going to do part C, which is report. You have to write a report for the board of director. How you have to start making a report. How are you going to do your workings and all. Okay, because this is a mixture of writing and calculations. Most of the students, they still struggle. They don't know how to start a report. That's like the biggest challenge. First of all, make sure that you know how to make a report. I have made a video on how to write a report for AFM and also for SBL. So but the SBL one you can use for AFM. And there are 3 requirements. First, make sure that when you write a report, proper heading has to be there. Okay, to whom you're writing the report. Proper introduction has to be there. Then we have the main body and then we have the conclusion. When you write the report, so you can see there are first, second and third. So when you write the report, it has to have this structure and this order only. That means in your report, the first part will be talking about the value of equity of the both companies before and after accusation. Second part in the report will be about the percentage gain using the 3 offers: cash, share for share and mixed offer, and the last one will be evaluating the likely reaction. Okay, so what is the first requirement? The first requirement says estimate the value of equity of the 2 companies before accusation and of the combined company after accusation. Estimate the value. This means calculation is required. Okay, now it's up to you that you can do all the calculation first and then start making a report, or you start writing the report, keep write the introduction and all, and keep empty spaces where you need numbers and all. Okay, simultaneously you can do both. What I normally do is I start writing a report format. Okay, and side by I do my workings and all. Your calculations and all does not come in the main report. Okay, your workings and all, lot of calculations is required, definitely, because it's a section A question. So you are going to use spreadsheet for that. Okay, you can either use for some words, some workings, spreadsheet is not required, very minor workings and all. You can use scratchpad if you want. Okay, rough, where you can just, for some working, you are using it and then later you are inputting the answer into the word or spreadsheet. That also you can use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to write it in a report format. Okay, so first when you write a report, you have to write that it's a report. Okay, report to whom? Report to the board of directors. They have clearly told here, report for the board of directors of FOPO. So you have to write it here. You have to start with it first. Okay, report to BOD, board of director. Name the company. Okay, which board of director? There are so many companies out there. Since there are 2 companies, we don't know, so you have to write the name of the company, and you can even bold this out. You know, it looks more professional and neat. Next, in fact, I would say that make your subheadings bold, in bold. Okay, next is your introduction. Okay, this is the way you have to write a report. Introduction, I am writing the introduction and then I will explain you, but don't forget to remove the bold. So I'm first writing it, then I will explain you how to write a good introduction. Okay, so just read the introduction. This report provides, you have to mention what does the report provides. So you start, this report provides, after that dash means it depends on the case study. So in this case, what does the requirements is? Just read all the three requirements. Your introduction is all these three. You have to talk about all these three. So you can write, this report estimates the value of equity for both the company. It estimates the percentage gain for this three offer, and it evaluates the likely reaction of the shareholder. So that's what exactly I wrote in the introduction. And if you see the introduction, never make your introduction so lengthy. It should not discuss all the things. Okay, it is just a brief. It has to be in 2 or 3 lines minimum. Okay, 5 lines, that's it. Sorry, maximum 5. Don't exceed more than 5. It could be 2 lines or 3 is a fair enough. Okay, so this report provides an estimate of the additional value. Okay, as you can see here, you get it from your requirements. Your introduction, the wordings you will get from the three requirements. Additional value created if the company offer were to acquire tire, and the gain for each company shareholder based on cash, share for share, and mixed offer. It's given in the requirements only. And finally, what does it do? It evaluates. So do you see the sequence also? It talks about additional value. Second, it talks about the percentage gain. Third, it talks about the likely reaction. So it evaluates the likely reaction of the two company shareholders to each payment method. Okay. So your introduction has to be brief, but everything has to be mentioned over here. What all are your requirements and all. Next. So your introduction is over. Okay. So writing introduction is not a big thing. It's fairly simple and it's easy because you have all the wordings from your requirements. Just see and that write it. Now don't memorize this only. You can write in your own words anyhow the way you want. Introduction and all. Since this is about, okay, so next I'm going to talk about what? Values and all. So values and all. You can either write equity value of upper or thigh as a subheading, but here I will write summary, or either you can write summary of estimates. That means only your final answer you're writing here, not all the calculations. Summary of estimates from, you have to put your calculation under appendix. Appendices, the plural. Okay. That means the summary only you are importing here, but the calculations will be in your Excel. So you can write from appendix 1. If you see the spelling, make sure that you don't make the spelling mistake. Okay, very minimum, keep it to very minimum. I know sometimes it's not possible to check word by word, and you should not do also, but then but still make it that you should not make a spelling mistake. Now keep some space. I will keep some space. From appendix 2, I need 2 appendixes. Why 2 appendixes? See, you can decide on the number of appendix you want. Just see, there are 3 requirements. The first one says estimate the value of equity. That is appendix 1. The second one says estimate the percentage gain. That will be appendix 2. For the third one, evaluate the likely reaction. It's like a theory part. For that, we don't need an appendix. We can just write it in the word. So there will be 2 appendix in total and 1 you are writing. Okay. So from appendix 2, I will bold this, okay, because you see, if you have bold one subheading and you are not bolding the other one, it's be consistent. Okay, consistency also matters a lot. Do you see, it looks very professional now? Okay, under appendix 2 also keep some space. How many space does not matter. The good thing is, because when we were used to do it in paper, we had to estimate. Sometimes the lines were too much, like sometimes it was too less, that we had to squeeze words. Good thing in CBE is computer based is that you can, it does not matter what, because you can just press enter and then maximize it, the space, or minimize it according to your this thing. So it's okay, it does not matter how many lines, you don't have to estimate, but just keep a space how many you need. Next. So since appendix 2, okay, so we'll keep it like that. Next, likely reactions. Okay, likely reactions. Another third subheading is likely reactions. Under this we can write, but remember, you cannot write this one without writing the first one, because everything is linked, everything you have to follow. Let's say first you need the value of equity for this companies before you calculate percentage gain. Third, you need both this to answer the likely reaction, so that's why you have to follow this order. You are forced to follow that order, you cannot change the sequence. Okay, when, let's see, under C, there are 3 or 4 requirements, you have to answer them in order. Okay, but C is not related to D. Okay, these two are unrelated, that you can answer in any order, either C or D. But when you have choose to do C, then you have to follow this order, the first, second and third. Okay, so likely reaction, I'm going to keep space because I cannot write likely reaction now without my calculation. It is not possible. So this is what I do. And after likely reaction, what is it? It's a report, don't forget. Where will my conclusion go, even if they don't ask? So another last subheading will be conclusion. Conclusion or recommendation, okay? Now, what is it? So now you have this option that your appendix, either you can write in spreadsheet fully, or you can do it in the word processor, and calculations you can do in spreadsheet and then copy paste in the word. So it's up to you, but I will do it in the spreadsheet. Okay. And the other thing is, see, there are two ways of doing. Either you can do it in the spreadsheet appendix, the calculations are not, or the other thing is, first you can use scratchpad for some calculations. Spreadsheet is not required, right? Maybe you just have to add two numbers, or like that, or divide two numbers. Then you can use scratchpad and get the answer and then copy paste it. In that way also you can do. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the spreadsheet. I'm going to close the word processor and open the spreadsheet now. And but I need the information, right? So I am not going to read the information. As I do, you will understand. Okay. Now I'm going to write. When you have to write, you have to double click. Okay. In Excel, appendix. I'm going to name it. Okay. Even in Excel also, it's better you name it. Appendices. This I will extend. This I will bold it out. Okay. Appendix 1 part C. You see, whenever you have to do calculations like this, you have to write it which part of the, there are so many requirements and we don't know for in the Excel for which requirement we are using Excel. So that's why you have to write part C. Which part of part C? There are three parts. So mention it as the I. Okay. First I. So you have to be very clearly, you have to label it when you're using Excel. Okay. For this, you can write it in Word also, but I'm doing it in Excel. I will do all the calculations in Excel only itself. So that is better to have it in one place rather than having some here, some there. Okay, this also I'm going to do what? Bold. Now, the requirement asked equity value of both the company before and after acquisition. Okay, and the combined company after acquisition. So the starting point is you have to find the equity value for Poe because he have acquired, and the target company, and then the combined company. Because definitely it's not possible to find the value of combined company without finding the values of individual company before acquisition. Okay. Make sure that you have opened the exhibits. Okay. So now what I'm going to write. Always first you have to write before you do any calculation. Okay. Equity value of which company? Oh, wow. Prior to acquisition or before acquisition? You have to write it, whether it's before or after acquisition. Okay. Now don't forget to extend this. Okay. So this, you can keep some space if you want. Copy paste. I don't think that insert is there. Yes, you cannot insert or something. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste in this cell and I'm going to remove it from here. Okay. So that it looks more easier for you to read. You always have to take care of your visualization also. Does it look neat for someone else to read also? Is it easy to understand at first glance? You have to take care of all this. This is where you're going to get your professional marks and all. It should not be so untidy. Okay. Now, so your calculations will be here. Equity value. Okay. So what you can do is, when you have to do questions on acquisition and merger, you can keep the number of shares on one row and your price per share. Okay, so I'm going to keep my price per share and number of shares, because anyway you need this two things. Okay, if you have your EPS or price earning ratio, those also you can keep. Okay, so I'm going to keep my price per share and number of shares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the price per share here and number of share here for above. Okay, so for that we have to go here. If you see the background, let us read the exhibits now. Nothing is mentioned in, right? No number is here. It's just they talk about MBO and MBI, how they have changed the shareholders and all those things is not needed. I'm going to open the second one. Here they talked about proposed acquisition. So if you can see here, I'm only worried about the Oppo company, forget about rest. The first para, it just gives introduction. That what are the advantages of acquisition, why they are going to acquisition, what are the future opportunities and all. Okay, so Oppo has 2000 million shares in issue and are currently trading at 2.5 each. So we know the share price and we know the number of shares. Okay, we know the share price and we know this one. So what is it? 2000 M is the number of shares and the price per share will be $2.5. So now what I'm going to do is just put equal and just multiply this by this. Sorry, you have to put the equal sign, by the way. Okay, equal sign, this multiply by this. It says no value. Why? Because it just has to be in terms of number. That means just 2, no dollar sign, and just, so what I'm going to do here is first you have to remove this, or you could say the form itself, whether is it numbers or not. Make it in numbers. Okay, so if you make it in number, you see the $2.5 is converted into 3, which we don't want. Now if you want to undo it, okay, so make it, it will not happen. First you have to change the form itself, so you have to be very careful when you change the form itself. Or you can put currency, but even if you put currency it will not work, so better you change it to all. You see it's changing into 3, so something is, so it's just 2.5. The moment you apply, the dollar comes, right? Okay, so just leave it in. Number of share is what, 2000. So just remove the dollar sign and just keep it as 2.5. You have to go to format cell and give it to text all. Okay, so now it's coming to 2.5. Just check this, multiply by this 5000. Okay, so make sure that this is, I have forwarded to all. Okay, I have just removed the M from here, that's it. The moment if I put M here, what happens? If you see, the value will change. So what I can do is, how can I solve this issue? I can write number of shares in M, or it means in million. Okay, it simply means the number of shares is in million. That's why that means this equity value will be 5,000 million. Because you need numbers to multiply. You cannot, if you put it in text, you cannot multiply, right? If I put 2000 M, it will not be considered as a number. Okay, but if you want to take it in 2000 millions, then you have to take the other 6 zeros also. Or you could say equity value in million, so that it is understood this is 5,000 million. Or otherwise you can just write the whole number 5,000, this 6 zeros. Next, equity value of Thai company before acquisition. So what I'm going to do is, the good thing of using Excel is you can just copy paste. I'm just going to copy paste it here. Just I'm going to change the name of the company here. Just see. So this is what I call that you have to be very fast, but you have to be smart also to use techniques. Wherever shortcuts you use, just use it, rather than typing. But here when you come to equity value for the Thai company, you see you have been given lots of information. You have been given the current market value of debt, equity, the number of shares 263. Okay, but here you are not given like how Oppo is being given, the number of share and the share price. So what does it mean? You have to do more calculations here. First you have to find the share price of Thai company before you find the value before, right? So for that, to find the share price, first you have to find number of shares given, but you have to find what? You have been given profit before tax, you have been given tax allowable depreciation after tax, you have been given annual cash investment, you have been given the growth rating cash flow for the foreseeable future, current cost of capital. All these things are given. It implies that you have to do what? You have to do a free cash flow. Yes, you have to find the free cash flow to firm. Before you go to the equity value, you have to find what? Free cash flow to firm. So we'll keep this here. We can write FC, wait, free cash flow okay, free cash flow to firm, FCF or free cash flow. You can write it as free cash flow to firm, or I'm writing FCF, the short form. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, now for this part you can do your scratch pad, or you can do it in MS Word also, because it's just some addition and subtraction. So how do you start your free cash flow to firm? That's a question. How do you start your free cash flow to firm? That you have to understand. You start with exactly profit before interest and tax 132. Profit before interest and tax. So it either you can do it horizontally or you can do it vertically. But what I would say is, we'll keep this at the end, okay? Free cash flow to firm. So what I'm going to do is profit before interest and tax, PBIT. Even you can use these short forms because it is understood. PBIT means profit before interest and tax only. What is it? So just write the number 132. Later you can add currencies or write in millions and all that you can do. Like for example, even here also what you can do is, a space is there, you can write here 5,000 million. You can write it like this, the equity value, and bold it, because this all you are doing what, for calculation purpose only. You can even color the cell. Okay, by format cells you can even color it, the alignment and the border if you want. So make sure from here you know how to format the cell so that we know what is the equity value. Whatever is asked in the requirement, make sure that that answer you bold it. Like if you see the requirements here, they asked you value of equity of Oppo. So that means value of equity of Oppo will be bold, of Thai will be bold, and the combined companies equity value. These three answers will be bold. Okay, so like this also you can write 5,000 million, or because it's easy for you to forget that this will be millions later on. So it's better that you write it like this. Or on top only you can write millions. Okay, so I'm writing M so that it is understood in millions. So that means this 132 will be in millions only. Okay, because if you put 132 M, then you cannot use the function to add. Then what is next? Next comes your taxable depreciation non-cash expenses, which has been deducted. So you know that these are not cash items, depreciation and non-cash. They need to be added back for you to get what? We are interested to get cash flow. We have profit. We are converting the profit to cash. That means we have to add back this depreciation and non-cash expense. Because when we were calculating profit, it has been deducted. 27.4 million. So 27.4. You can write TAD, taxable depreciation. Or was it depreciation? I'm not sure. Wait a minute. Yes, taxable depreciation, non-cash expenses. So you can write TAD and non-cash expenses. Wherever you have to deduct, just put the minus sign, bracket. It's understood that it will be deducted. Next, what is the next item? The next item will be, it needs to be deducted, is this one. 24.3 million. That is an investment in non-current assets and working capital. 24 point, so bracket 24.3. 3. If you see why is it, this needs to be format. Okay, we will check. What can you write? Investment in NCI, non-current asset and working capital. So what's next? There is nothing else. What you have to deduct is the tax, 20%. Remember, profit before interest and tax. So tax has to be deducted. Tax will be 20% because tax is 20%. Okay. So it will be tax. So if you want to get tax, just write equal to 0.2 because 20% multiply by this rate. Okay, so tax is already calculated as 26.4. What do you have to do next? Okay, next is what? Just add and subtract. sorry, not here. This will be your free cash flow to firm. So just equal and then equal sum. $185.8, which is not the right answer. So we know that this 24.3. Okay, so don't put bracket, just put minus. Okay, and this also needs to be shown minus. Okay, just put the minus before the bracket. After, I will show you again. Just see here. Before I open the bracket, I put the minus, or you can put minus in any of the this thing, and just see automatically the number changed. Your final answer changed. Okay, so it's 108.7. It will be in millions. Okay, don't forget to put the dollar sign later. Even here, I forgot to put it's dollar and comma 5,000 million. Okay, next, or you can do what you can do is I will just put orange. Just see. So this is the way you can make sure that your answer stands out. Equity value. Now, free cash flow to firm. You get it, right? Free cash flow to firm. Make sure that this is in bold. What's next? The company value. Okay. You have to find the company value. How will you find the company value? Remember, there's a growth rate of 3% and the cost of capital was 11%. So you have to use the discounted, you have to use the dividend valuation model. Okay, that growth valuation model. So you can put your cost of capital and growth rate somewhere else, or in the calculation itself you can put. Like here, if you have to put the company value equal to this, okay, this one multiply by, either you can put the number or you can put the number in some cell and then write it. 1.03 because the growth rate was 3%. Okay, divide by, again bracket, 0.11 because the cost of capital was 11% and minus 0.03 minus 0.03, close the bracket. Okay, close the bracket and enter. If you see, it is already taken. And if you want to round now, we know the formula for round, so equal to round the number comma 1. It will round to one decimal place. So now just say 0. It will round to whole number. So when you want to round something to whole number, just press that number, equal that number comma 0. Okay, if you want to see the formula, just see here. Sorry, just see here. It is B13, the number comma 0. It will round it to whole number. Okay, it's better to take, when you're taking company value, another advice here which will help you is just better to take it in whole number. Okay, so this 1,400 is in million. Okay, now the equity value you have to take. Equity value. When you have to take the equity value, what is it? Equal to 1,400 minus, remember the debt was 400, and for equity value You find first the company value, from there minus the debt. Debt is 400, which is 1000. Okay, so when you are writing 1000, what is it? So this 1000 is the equity value. Equity value of whom? The Thai company. So dollar 1000 million. What am I going to do? Same. Do you see how it is consistent? This one and this one. Understood that these two are the equity value of the two companies. Next. So I have been done with two. Now what I have to do is I have to find the equity value of the combined company. Equity value of combined company. Post acquisition, right? After acquisition, that's why. I'm going to bold it out. So it's better that before you write only, you write all amounts in dollar millions. Okay, so when you are going to find the equity value of the combined company, just check for the combined company. Open this. We know we need the information. If you see, you have been given the combined company sales revenue, the pre-tax margin, the growth rate for in sales revenue, the annual depreciation, okay, the additional investment. You have been given the free cash flow, the growth in free cash flow for the foreseeable future, the cost of capital, the level of debt and equity, the tax rate. So this shows that you have to do what? A cash flow, right? For 4 years. Okay, for 4 years. See, they do not say that it's for 4 years or something. Do they mention? After the first 4 years. So there are so many places, even though they say it's not for the 4 years, but it's understood. Like the statement, after first year, the sales revenue will be this for the next 3 years, or at after the first 4 years, the free cash flow will grow at this rate. So all this says it is for the 4 year. Okay, you have to do. So just write the year. Okay, it will start from 1, 2, 3, 4. In investment appraisal, it starts from 0. But here it is not from 0, it starts from 1 only. Okay, so make sure that if you want to press each one together, so just control and this one. Everything is bold. So starting with sales, okay, sales revenue. Okay, it's better that you write, even though we know that this is the formula we are going to write, it will be 5.2%. Okay, growth from year 2 to year 4, because in year 1 there is no growth. Okay, they have given you the sales revenue for this thing, so you can write this. Okay, so in this way they will know that this is the working which you used. You have taken 5.02% growth, so make sure that after sales you write this. So now what you have to do is, it is given as 7351. Okay, first year. Second year, when you do, what you have to do is equal to this multiply by the growth rate. The growth rate will be 1.0502. Okay, close the bracket, enter. So do you see? Now what you have to do, there's this button, just take it like this. Right, don't forget to extend. You can just copy paste the formula, it will be copied. Okay, now do you see? So what do you have to do? You cannot use the same formula there, so you can copy paste it later here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this here. copy, paste. When I'm going to do here, I'm going to put equal round because I want to round this number. Okay, comma 0. I'm not going to extend this. Just see, it is already rounded to 1 decimal place. So you can do like this. You can copy paste. You can keep both. Okay, it's better that you keep both together. The rounded and the one before rounding. Right? If you want, you can work with the main answer also. But what I suggest is it's better to work with the rounded figure. In case if you don't have time or you are short of time, then no need to round, just go with the answer. Because anyway, it will serve the same purpose only. Okay, so let's say we are not working with the rounded figure. This is in case to show you. In that case, you have to round up everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out and then I'm going to do like this. Or you can format also. You can go and format cells. Okay, when you go to the number, you can decide. Right, you can go and do it like that also. You can edit each one, provided that you have sufficient time to do that. But if you don't have that time, then don't leave it. Now it is the pre-tax. You have to deduct your tax. Pre-tax profit. So pre-tax profit is 15.4. It has been given to you 15.4% of sales. Close bracket. So here just apply 15.4% multiply by this rate. Okay. So just check. Okay, just taking. So make sure that you extend this line, okay? Otherwise you will not see the whole number. Sometimes the numbers are hidden in between you. Make sure that you see all the numbers visible. Make sure they are okay. Yes. Next, tax. Less tax, 20%. Make sure that you write the rate of the tax in front of the tax, okay? So equal to 20, 0.2, or you can write 20%, whatever it is, it will same the same purpose only. 20% of what? From this one. Okay. So the moment you can write less tax, or you can even put minus over here. But if you see, the moment you put minus over here, it's not copy pasted. You need to again take it like that to put the minus sign in front of it. If you want, you can put the minus sign like this, or you can keep it as it is. But it's better that you put the minus sign to know that it has been deducted. Okay. Next, what do we have? Additional investment. Less additional. Now do you see it? It looks very, too much for the eye. Just see the numbers and all. That's why it's better that you round up the number. Less additional but anyway the final answer you can round up. So less additional investment, it will be how much? Dollar 0. If you see the time taken to write, it's too long, right? I'm taking too much of time, so you have to be very quick in typing. Years 2 to year 4. Okay, first year it has been given as 109 minus 109, just put the minus, don't put bracket. Okay, so next when you have to work out, just put equal to, it is the difference between the sale and then on that 0.31. Okay, so this minus this bracket into 0.31, close bracket. See, nothing comes because you cannot put 2 times bracket. So what you can do is, you can do it in a calculator and keep it like this, or separately you keep the 0.31 minus this, multiply by 0.31. If you put like that, it will not work. BOTMOS is not followed. It will not work out. So you can, what you can do is, now here you can use a scratch pad if you want. Okay, otherwise somewhere else on the Excel you can do, like somewhere towards the right here you can do, you can put the difference of the two here and keep it and then multiply it by 0.31. So let's say the difference between this two is, you can use calculator also. See all this, first you have to do it at home and see which one is faster for you, in which method you can do fast and see, so that in the exam you don't have to run. 720 minus 7351, so it is 369. So what you can do is, direct away you can put here 369 multiplied by 0.31. It's not coming. Okay, the reason is it's minus. Okay, so you can put it here. $369 multiplied by 0.31 and put. But the thing is, if you keep on doing like this is a waste, because every time you have to put, right, rather than just dragging it. So it's better. So now I know this method is not going to work. It's going to take me a longer time to do. So it's better I put somewhere the difference of the two, and then maybe I can put here. You cannot add or remove cells, okay, or columns. So that's why it's better that in the beginning you keep some extra lines and then start something new if you want. So on the top you can write the difference right here. Let's see if I want to put the difference, this minus this. Okay, here I can do the same. Let's see whether the difference came or not. Just press, right, automatically it is copy pasted. And now 0.31 0.31, 0. You can do it like this. So now what I'm going to do is this multiply by this. Okay, don't forget to put a minus here. And I'm going to copy paste it. Just see. So do you see, this method is much faster. This is why you have to be wise enough. See, there are many ways of doing calculation. You could use your own calculator, you could use their calculator, you could do it through Scratchpad, you could do it in MS Word, you could type it, but you have to be very quick enough, you have to be wise enough to make the best use of time. This is what I wanted to tell you. You have to use a method which is most quickest, which will give you the answer in much faster time. So what happens now? Free cash flow, FCF. So now I'm just going to put sum and then take all this and then close it. Oh, sorry, something went wrong. What went wrong? Can anyone guess it? When I was doing the sum, okay, what was I doing? I was deducting the pre-tax profit from here. It was not to be supposed to be deducted from tax. So that means what will I do? I will remove the minus sign. Now I have to copy paste again because everywhere else is minus. Okay. Now I can do the sum function. Okay. Here it will be minus. Wait a minute. Tax needs to be minus. The reason I put this, the answer as it is that when you do the sum function, it automatically will take. Otherwise, it will take it as positive. See, the tax, something went wrong. What went wrong is it's minus, comma, this multiply by 20%. Close bracket. Not okay, you have to see this plus sign before you drag. Now you can, when you take the sum, automatically it will take the negatives. So from here you have to deduct, okay? You don't have to take the cells. Just check automatically. So you can just drag it. Okay? If you see, it has taken automatically. Now, what can you do? Present value of free cash flows. Okay? So you have to find the discount factor at 10%. So at 10%, the discount factor. Now you have to use your formula sheet. Go to the formula sheet. Okay? And go to your present value table. 4 years, 10%. So 10%, 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. This rate. Okay? You cannot copy paste from here. Okay? You cannot copy paste from the whole, but you can see the rates from here. And you can put the rates over here. Okay? So let's say first one is 0.909. 0.909. Next, 0.826. See, when you come back to Excel, you need to double click, otherwise you cannot type on the cell. Formula sheet 0.751. And the third one is, sorry, the fourth one is 0.683. This is why practice is required. Otherwise, how will you know? You will struggle to get the discount factor. Because if you don't know all the functions, mind you, if you don't know all the functions, where the formula sheets are, where will I get the function formula, you will waste a lot of time finding the resources. So you exactly have to know where the resource, like this, how I went and got it. You have to be very quick. Now, you just multiply this by this and just drag it to the other cells. Automatically it will copy paste. Okay, which is known as present value of free cash flows. Sorry, undo. Here the number is not clear, so make sure that, okay, now you can round. Now you can use the round. Okay, finally at the end and use it. This comma 0. Now do you see it looks more neat and more easy to understand rather than dealing with all those big numbers. So this, now you can write present value of free cash flow. Present value of free cash flow. You can use short forms like this. It is allowed. Next, what am I going to do? Once you get this, combine company's value. Okay. So combine company's value from year 1 to 4, because after 4 year onwards also there is, you have to calculate. How will you calculate it? It is just the sum function. Just add all the 4 year free cash flow. That's it. Okay. It's okay. You don't have to put the currencies and them in millions every time, but in the final answer, don't forget to put it. Okay. Now, just copy paste. So now the combined company value after year 4. How are you going to get it after year 4? So, what do you need for that? You need to see the free cash flow in year 4. It is this. Just check. Free cash flow in year 4 is 92 point. Round up to whole number, it will be 923. Okay, or you can take that number as it is. Okay, if you want. Equal to this number. Multiply by, let's see. The growth rate was 2.4%. Okay, from 4 year onwards. Divide by bracket 0.1, because the cost of capital is 0.1 minus the growth rate. Close bracket. Again multiply by 1.1 to the power minus 4. Enter. This number is not shown in full. You have to drag it to see the whole number. You see, basically what I did was just check the formula. Here I didn't use bracket, okay, because bracket only once you can use. So I just took this number, multiplied it by this, divide, then I put the bracket, multiplied 1.1 to the minus 4. did I multiply it? Because I need to discount this. I need to bring this to year 0, not this one, actually the one after year 4. So after year 4, the discount factor will be year 4, this discount factor. Okay. Or either the other thing you can do is, rather than taking it this way, you can just multiply it by this rate. But don't close bracket, okay? What happens when you close bracket over here? Okay, it shows. Answer is same only. This discount factor, the 4th year. Okay. But if you are taking it, not this one, since this is rounded to 3 decimal places, if you are taking it the other way, then it will show more clear answer. This one. Okay. Or here, you could even take the whole number, 923. But one thing you have to be careful, if you are using rounded figure somewhere, okay, let's say you are using rounded figure somewhere, then everywhere you have to use that rounded figure. It cannot be that somewhere using whole number then rounded figure. The number will be close by somewhere, but then when you see your answer, when you're practicing, you will see your answer will be different from their answer. Like this one, the answer given in the marking scheme is this answer only, 8494. But before we got 8492, the reason is they have used 923. They have used a rounded figure, but we use the whole number, 922. That's why we are getting a little lesser amount than the actual amount which they got, right? And if you see the marking scheme and all, they always use a rounded figure. The reason why I tell you follow the marking scheme, go with what they do is, technically you are not right, wrong. You are also using the number, but the thing is, why to take a risk? If they are doing something is better, you also do that. You know. So because you know that if we are also getting the same answer as them, then there's very less chance of you going wrong. But what if your answer is different to them? Then when you're practicing, when you're doing self-study, it will be very hard for you to evaluate whether you are right or they are right. Because we know how much students struggle, even if it's a one decimal answer which is not matching with them, even if it's not matching by very small amount, 0.1, or even by one digit, students, they panic a lot. So in order for you to avoid that, I'm telling you, if they have used rounded figure, you also use rounded figure. But in the exam, yes, I would not say use rounded figure. You can use the whole number and get it, you will be correct. But when you're practicing, if you want to be sure whether you are right or not, it's better you follow their method. But technically your method is correct. It does not matter whether rounded or actual. Here and there numbers might be different. The thing is whether you have understood and know how to use the formula. That's it. So the next is total combined value. So now the total combined value. Definitely you'll be having such scenarios where you have for a certain 1 to 4 year, and then after that forever. So you should know in both the situations how you have to find in this situation 1 and situation 2 also, and then just add, that will be your combined company value. Total company, if you see, I know that my company spelling is wrong, but I cannot change it. So total company value is just equal to sum. It's just sum. Now equity value, how much will be my equity value? We have been told that equity is 60 and debt is 40. Okay, so 60%, or you could say 0.6 Anything is okay. Multiply by this one, this rate. So if you see, it is 6719.4. Okay, if you round up, you could take it as 6720 or 6719, but better to take the higher figure. So let's say 6720. You can just write it in front of it like this, or not to write here, otherwise it will be taken as 6720. You can round down here, or you could say rounded up figure or the whole figure. You can write it somewhere here in the description if you want, otherwise it is understood. Okay, this needs to be round up. Okay, this I will put here, or you can just put the cell color like this. Just check, right? It's better that you put it in one line, how you have put here. So dollar 6,720 million. This I will highlight it. Better you highlight it using same color so that we know it is appendix A. Okay, this I can remove it. How will I remove it? Just say no fill. It's removed. So we know that now we got the three values. Now what's the next? What is the next? Next is appendix 2. Appendix 1 is over. We are done with the appendix 1 is over. Means we are done with this requirement. This requirement is over. We found the equity value of both the companies and the combined company. Now we have to find the percentage gain. The hard part is this section. This is one of the hardest section in this question. See, one section in a question you will always get, which you will struggle a lot to get. Most of the students struggle in this area. Not only for this question, but most of the time when this question comes, percentage gain, it is one of the hardest area. So now appendix 2 I'm going to do in part 2 of this video. Okay, I thought if I tell too much it will be hard for you to observe, so take some time, observe this one, understand this part first, appendix 1, before we go to appendix 2. So appendix 2 and the rest of the report I will complete in part 2 of this video. Right, till then take care and best of luck.